Well, I was on my way to work that morning, and I remember coming across the Atchafalaya Basin Bridge and thinking how beautiful it was. It's always a beautiful sight. And in my peripheral vision, I saw something black coming down, and next thing I knew, I was at a complete stop.
She was going down I-10, and the crane fell on her vehicle. We got the call, and us nurses were like, no way, like we can't even make this stuff up.
Talking amongst ourselves in the ICU, we were like, man, that looks like a bad accident. Crane looks like it dropped right across the front of a car.
It fell on the hood of the car, right before the windshield, and it had mashed the steering wheel down on her, so they had to cut her out.
This is an accident that is unpredictable, and this is the exact kind of scenario that we are prepared for as a trauma center.
And being that Lafayette General Medical Center is a level 2 trauma center, the only one in this area, and being that she was closer to us than Baton Rouge, she came straight to us.
So everybody was like, shocked. Like, what are the injuries? So we activated a trauma. Our trauma team reported to the room.
I'm the trauma team leader of the OR. We don't often hear about a crane falling on someone. And so it really had our minds rolling as to what we were going to be facing ourselves with. I remember it very well.
And she came in totally awake, alert, and oriented. However, she was so calm, it was almost calming to us. She was incredible.
I received a call from the emergency room, and I met Dr. Landis and Dr. Peoples, who are the general surgeon on call and the emergency room physician there with her. We all met her in the trauma bay in our trauma room and evaluated her.
By the time I got there, they had already had her in the emergency room, prepping her for surgery.
So I spoke with her husband and the pastor, ensured them that we were taking the very best care of her. It was very important to us that her husband get to see her before she rolled to surgery. She was awake and talking, and I think that was a very important part, that he could see that she physically could see her and talk to her.
She had injuries to her abdomen that required emergency surgery. She also had her bone injuries that I evaluated and determined that I needed to stabilize her temporarily until we could get it all fixed up.
Once the general surgeon saw that the patient had internal bleeding with the ultrasound, that's when he decided that it was time to go to the OR. So the ER nurses took care of wrapping her up and brought her to us in the OR.
She went up to the operating room. She had a surgery on her abdomen. As soon as she was stable and everything was finished from that standpoint, I took over in the same room, was able to go ahead and stabilize her legs with external fixators.
When I woke up, I realized that both of my legs were in braces and stabilized, and I wondered if I was going to walk again, knowing that both of my legs were broken. And I remember the Dr. Walton coming in and telling me that I was probably going to be in a wheelchair for about 4 months.
She would require additional surgeries for her legs because of the broken bones.
Within the first 2 weeks, she had 3 operations performed by me. She had the initial evaluation, and then we fixed one side and came back about a week later and fixed the other side.
The best thing that happened that day was that I was transported to Lafayette General and was placed in the hands of Dr. Walton.
Fay and I both commented that, we had kind of lost our faith in humanity because of all the negativity that has been on the news. And
they restored our belief in humanity, that people are good and do good things. I can honestly say that I've been blessed, that I'm doing well.
Fay is one of those patients that makes me feel very good about what I do.
I just remember her being a beautiful person to talk to, and she was very thankful for the care she was given.
I just want to encourage them to continue doing what they do, because it does make a difference. I'm proof of that.
We would recommend anybody that had anything that happened to them like she did to experience Lafayette General and Dr. Walton and the staff there.
A couple of the nurses that were in the operating room with me came up to me and said that they were in the operating room with me, and I just thanked them, just for being there and caring for me. I still am very grateful, when I think of each and every one of them and what they did and how instrumental their care was in my recovery. I'd like to be able to thank all of them